Hi, please visit our brand new Patreon at patreon.com/DodgerBlueDream and contribute. I funded the production of the first season of this show entirely by myself, more than 50 episodes. But to continue Dodger Blue Dream, I need your help. I have a goal to make it to 50 paid subscribers on Patreon by Thanksgiving. Again, that's patreon.com/DodgerBlueDream. Thank you so much.
It's time for Dodger Baseball.
Every baseball season ends in tragedy. Every season, even the one where the Dodgers win the World Series. Because we know this group of guys, our beloved boys in blue, can't all stay together. Free agency is a sad fact of every single offseason, and it will break your heart. The list of Dodger players from the 2024 World Series winning team that are not under contract for 2025 is filled with favorites. There's Walker Buehler, Butane, the right-handed stud who struggled his way back after his second Tommy John surgery and became a key piece of our deep postseason run, and even dramatically appeared on the mound for the bottom of the ninth inning in Game 5 to log the final 3 outs of the season to win the World Series. Next on the list of Dodger free agents, Jack Flaherty, the trade deadline pickup and Burbank native, who did so much to help the Dodgers get to the postseason during the second half of the year, and who could forget Jack's Erewhon smoothie, $21 of coconut collagen-laced bliss. The next name on the list is Enrique Kike Hernandez, our own personal Mr. October. Kike just changed his Instagram profile pic from a headshot of him with a Dodgers cap on to one with him wearing a cap with a question mark instead of a logo. Then there is fan favorite Mariachi Joe Kelly, the flame-throwing wild man, trash talker, Blake Trinan, our nastiest and most dominant pitcher all the way through the World Series. He's a free agent too. I'll give you 2 more names, and they are doozies. Clayton Kershaw, our beloved first ballot Hall of Famer, GOAT, and Teoscar Hernandez, the wide-smiling and big-slugging clutch left fielder. None of these guys has a contract for 2025 to play on the Dodgers, and we wish that we could keep them all, but that is just not how it works. Welcome to Dodger Blue Dream, a documentary about the baseball season and off-season made as the season and off-season unfold. I'm Richard Parks III, and I'm a free agent too, and it ain't easy. Today's episode, Hot Stove. For those of you who are totally new to the idea of free agency and the off-season, an extremely brief primer. Every major league team has a 40-man roster. This includes 26 players on the active roster, the big league team, plus players in the minor leagues or on the injured list. Of those 26, there is a limit of 13 who can be pitchers. Shohei Ohtani can pitch anytime, but he's counted as a position player. In terms of finances, generally speaking, being a big market team, money really isn't a constraint for the Dodgers. And there are no salary caps in baseball. There are various tax thresholds to help even the playing field for smaller market teams. The Dodgers blew past all 4 tax thresholds last year and ended up having one of the highest payrolls in baseball. In terms of the players, they tend to be motivated by the same things. A chance to compete for a championship and play on a good team, but also making the most money over the highest number of years. And there can be other factors too, like a desire to work with a certain organization's coaching staff. And the current players on a team can also have influence on what moves are made, especially the more prominent players, the superstars that a team has already entered into a long-term commitment with. And for sure, the market tends to fluctuate from year to year, depending on which players are free agents, how many are available at any given position, It is an art, not a science, which is why we have the hot stove. According to MLB.com, in the early days of baseball, hot stove season referred to an actual baseball season, hot stove leagues, in which MLB players would stay in shape by playing baseball in their hometowns while staying warm with actual hot stoves. The term soon expanded to become a kind of predecessor to the water cooler. On a cold day, fans would gather around the hot stove to discuss their favorite team. End quote. And so, in contemporary parlance, the hot stove is a euphemism for trade talk, speculation, chit-chat. The fact is, nobody knows what's going to happen until it happens. But, we are starved for baseball. So, while you wait for the SoCal gas guy to come over and turn your pilot light back on, let's gather around the proverbial hot stove and talk about what moves the Dodgers might be making. It's not just about the players we might lose. It's about the ones we might gain. While I could go on and on about all of the aforementioned Dodgers free agents, here at DBDHQ, we focus. We home in like a pitcher with precision command. And speaking of pitchers, one of those will be the focus of the first part of this episode. A young guy from Japan. I dearly hope that the Dodgers can land this offseason by the name of Roki Sasaki. And then after that, we'll segue to talk about a position player we've all become quite accustomed to, who I hope gets re-signed and stays on this team. His name is Teoscar Hernandez. Both of these potentialities have ramifications for what else the team might do this offseason and how the Dodgers' 2025 roster will be constructed. So that's what's in today, but let me write my way into it. Picture the Alamo, San Antonio, Texas.
Welcome back. Time for Front Office Insights. And as promised, Brandon Gomes of the Dodgers taking a little time with us from the GM meetings in San Antonio this morning. Brandon, thanks for the time.
The first major event of the baseball offseason, the general managers' meetings.
Yeah, our goal every single year is to win a championship,
and the message from Dodgers GM Brandon Gomes rang like a bell. This here team is gonna get better.
The goal is now to go out and put together another championship caliber team. So even having just won it, that's our goal. No matter what happens each year, our hope is to be there again next year.
And job one is shoring up the starting pitching. In 2024, the Dodgers rotation suffered a historic amount of injuries. We can't be relying on the Dogies out in the bullpen to carry every fourth game like they did this past October. It's possible that the Dodgers could bring back both Walker Buehler and Jack Flaherty on free agent contracts, and nothing's been ruled out. But the Dodgers are also thinking wider than that. The starting pitching market this offseason includes Snellzilla, Blake Snell, Max Fried, an LA native and former Harvard Westlake High School teammate of Jack Flaherty's, who was spotted by the paparazzi partying with the Dodgers amid their post-World Series win gallivanting, and Corbin Burns. Obviously, we can never have enough pitching, as we've learned, Gomes said, so pitching will be a priority. The expected Dodgers rotation for 2025 is already looking pretty good. Tyler Glasnow, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, he's a pitcher, a great one, Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May, and probably returning sometime mid-season next year, Clayton Kershaw, though he has not been signed, has announced that he'll be back.
Hopefully that Clayton's a Dodger for life.
But the addition of one more top-tier starter would provide insurance and basically mean that the Dodgers would have the best starting pitching rotation in baseball. And just a couple days ago, one more pitcher came on the market.
All the guys I talked to that have played there says he's actually better than Yamamoto.
I think he is a better pitcher than Yamamoto, especially if he flashes anything like he flashed in the WBC in 2023.
We've been hearing about this kid for years.
Second swing, 102.
He hits triple digits on the gun with regularity, and he hails from the land of the rising sun. His name is Roki Sasaki.
The country of Japan is Roki Sasaki, and for those that don't know too much about him, he's the youngest pitcher to ever throw a perfect game in Japan.
Want to feel old? Sasaki was born after 9/11 in November of 2001, but so talented is this young, flame-throwing right-handed pitcher. He has been christened with his own nickname, Reiwa no Kaibutsu, the Monster. And when he threw his perfect game in April 2022, he also tied the NPB record for strikeouts in a single game and set a new record for consecutive strikeouts. He is very often compared to his countryman Shohei Ohtani. They're actually from the same area, Iwate Prefecture.
All across northern Japan, they felt it. A violent, magnitude 9.0 earthquake on March 11th, 2011.
Roki Sasaki was in 3rd grade during the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, which resulted in a tsunami that swept away his childhood home, a defining tragedy in his young life.
As tsunami waves inundated their city, knocking buildings into rubble and mixing into a kind of tsunami soup filled with vehicles, building parts, and contents.
Roki's father and his grandparents died in the tsunami, but he, his 2 brothers, and his mother survived.
More than 28,000 people are confirmed dead or missing.
The following year, the family moved, and the year after that, young Roki started playing baseball. His fastball broke Ohtani's record for velocity by a high school pitcher. Shohei threw 99 in high school. Roki threw 101. And so, of course, in 2019, he was drafted out of the 1st round and went pro.
24-year-old Yoshinobu Yamamoto of the Oryx Buffaloes and 21-year-old Roki Sasaki of the Lotte Marines are indisputably the 2 best pitchers in Japan right now.
In 4 seasons in Nippon professional baseball, Sasaki has a record of 29-15 with a 2.10 ERA. He was an All-Star in 2022 and 2023, and his fastball keeps getting faster. He tops out at 165 kilometers per hour. That's between 102 and 103 miles per hour. The fastest ever thrown by a Japanese player, tied with Shohei.
Japanese phenom Roki Sasaki will be on full display today for Team Japan. The 21-year-old will attempt to land Japan in the finals.
He's just 23 years old, but he made a big impression on me when I watched him pitch during the World Baseball Classic in 2023.
Miami is a fastball at 101 miles an hour.
And he helped lead Team Japan to a championship that year, along with his teammates, Yama and Shohei.
He struck him out! Ohtani strikes out Trout, and Japan's back on top of the baseball world!
Clips of the 3 Japanese pitchers palling around during a bullpen session have been circulating online. Part of the reason why, even though it was just announced that Roki Sasaki would be coming to the US on Friday, there is a lot of excitement in Dodgerland that he might be coming to LA.
But could you imagine him in a Dodger uniform?
I think a lot of fans already have imagined him in a Dodger uniform suiting up next season alongside Shohei Ohtani.
And the Shohei similarities continue. Like Shohei, Sasaki has long expressed a desire to play in America. And like Shohei, he's so eager to come stateside that he's doing it at so young an age. The regulations that are in place mean that he'll have to sign a minor league deal, meaning he's basically leaving money on the table because he just wants to come to the States now and pitch, which means for the lucky franchise that signs Sasaki, it's all upside, no risk, and basically no investment in a top-tier starter who's just at the beginning of his career. And the Dodgers are the heavy favorite Top executives like Andrew Friedman have been visiting Sasaki in Japan with regularity. Friedman was there to see him pitch as recently as October. And Japanese starters pitch every 6th day, as opposed to every 5th day like in the US. And there's speculation, with Yamamoto and Shohei coming back to the rotation, that if we bag Sasaki, the Dodgers would employ a Japanese schedule. If Sasaki wants to win, the Dodgers just won a title. There are obvious possible endorsement tie-ins with Shohei and Yama. It all just kind of makes sense. Sasaki wears Shohei's number, 17, so he'd have to give that up. And am I getting ahead of myself? You betcha. That's kinda what the hot stove is all about. Hot stove. I will do my best to climb up from a minor league contract and become the best player in the world, Sasaki said in a statement, translated by Yakiyu Cosmopolitan. Regardless of what maybe is being lost in translation, that's a bold message coming from a 23-year-old from a deeply hierarchical society who could be joining a Dodgers team that includes Shohei Ohtani. Anyway, it's not a foregone conclusion that Roki Sasaki will be joining the Dodgers. But keep in mind, if he does, it wouldn't have a significant impact on the budget for player salaries, which leads directly into our discussion of a player we hope to retain on the team, a man who played a huge part in the Dodgers' 2024 story, without whom it's hard to imagine how this team could have made it all the way. I speak, of course, of Teoscar Hernandez. Teo.
I want to say thank you.
When Teo took the mic in front of fans and on TV following the Dodgers World Series parade on November 1st, tears filled his eyes. And the stadium gave him an ovation. Love was in the air.
Hey, I play this game to win. And the Dodgers gave me the opportunity to come here so I can help this organization, this city, this team, these people win a championship. You guys made this dream come true. Thank you for making me a world champion.
Dile, buenos días. Buenos días. Dodgers. Sí, buenos días, fanáticos.
How can you not love this guy?
It wasn't hard to make decisions going to the Dodgers because I wanted to go to a team that can compete and can be in the playoff. You know, hopefully everything goes well and we can win. We can win everything this year and see what happens next year.
It's hard to believe, but this was Teo's first season with the Dodgers. He came to the team last offseason when he was looking for a multi-year deal, but the market wasn't working out. So he ended up signing a one-year, $23.5 million deal to play with the Dodgers for just one season. And that might sound like a ton of money because it is, but it was just 1 year for a player at 31 years old who was just entering his peak years. And it included $8.5 million in deferred money, meaning he wouldn't get that portion of his deal until later on, which meant that the Dodgers had more cash to spend on other players. It's something that helped the team, and Teo had one of the best seasons of his career in 2024. He hit 33 home runs, the most he's ever hit, and not only was he in the All-Star game, he won the Home Run Derby, and he was a clubhouse favorite, palling around with Shohei, tossing sunflower seeds on whoever hit a home run, and that smile, he's such a peaceful, joyous presence. And that's not all.
Teo, he's clutch.
Yes.
He's clutch.
It seemed like every time there was a big moment and Teo was at the plate, he would come through. And this was true not only during the regular season, but in the postseason too. I saw him hit a grand slam home run against the Padres in San Diego during the NLDS. And when the Yankees gave the Dodgers an opportunity in Game 5 of the World Series by making some defensive errors, with Freddie Freeman, it was Teo who had the big hit that capitalized on that opportunity.
The 1-2 pitch to Teoscar Hernandez.
Yes, in the air to left center field. Judge on the run. Dead sprint now to the track, and it's over his head. That's in to score. Freddie Freeman for the plate, and this game has been turned upside down.
This is it.
The Yankees crack the door.
Clutch.
Defense and the Dodgers.
Teoscar, down 5-0. Cole was pitching great. What did you guys tell yourselves?
I mean, we just take advantage of every mistake that they make in that inning. We put some good at-bats together. We put the ball in play.
We literally would not have won the World Series without the contributions of Teoscar Hernandez. On top of his 33 regular season dingers, 99 RBIs, and 848 OPS, and his clubhouse leadership, his relationship with Shohei, his mentorship of younger players like Andy Pages.
Now that you've won one, what is going through your mind?
I mean, it's a dream comes true. Obviously,
But now, that's all just a memory, and Teo's future with this team is totally uncertain. Teo has been open about his desire to stay on the Dodgers. He said it in interviews throughout the regular season. I want to stay here. That's up to them, etc., etc. But this was always something Teo was doing in the media. The Dodgers and Teo never discussed a contract extension during the regular season. But the Dodgers have made an offer at this point. A 1-year, $21.05 million contract, known as a qualifying offer. A qualifying offer is something that major league teams can offer free agents to stay with their organization for 1 more year when they reach free agency, with a salary that is determined by making an average of the 125 highest paid players in MLB. If a team gives a qualifying offer to a player who then signs elsewhere, that team becomes eligible for a draft pick compensation in the following year's draft. The qualifying offer system has existed since 2012 to help protect teams from losing their best talent to bigger markets, and there is no bigger market than Los Angeles. On top of that, through 2023, only 13 of the 131 total players who received a qualifying offer had ever accepted it. $21.05 million is a ton of money, but it would be a pay cut for Teo after the best season of his career on the biggest possible stage when he helped his team win the World Series. And we all know that Teo is looking for a multi-year deal. And of course, other teams are expressing their interest in our Teo. It's basically a foregone conclusion that he'll turn down the qualifying offer. But what are the chances that Teo stays on this team? We've already gotten some clues early on in the offseason. During the annual general managers meetings in San Antonio, Texas last week, Dodgers GM Brandon Gomes told the media that in order to bolster offense, the team should focus on outfield. And Mookie Betts is expected to return to the infield for 2025. And you'll remember from our episode Mookie's Best that the project of Mookie's 2024 season was moving from right field to shortstop, and that he spent much of his minor league career at second base. And you know that after Mookie got hurt last season in June, that he returned to the team to play right field. And there was no specificity about which position in the infield Mookie would be taking in 2025. But in any case, it opens up a hole in the outfield, in right field, which, with left field, is a position that Teoscar Hernandez played for us in 2024. The internal options currently under contract for the Dodgers for all outfield positions, according to The Athletic, are Andy Pages, who played 116 games in 2024 as a rookie, James Outman, who was our opening day center fielder for the past 2 seasons, but who struggled throughout 2024 and spent most of the season in the minors, and Dalton Rushing, a prospect who you might have heard of as a catcher, who finished off the 2024 season in the minor leagues playing left field. That's it. I guess this assumes that Chris Taylor, CT3, and Tommy Edman wouldn't be starting every day in the outfield, although they can play there. And the same logic, I believe, extends to Kike, although Kike is also not under contract. All the more reason to re-sign Teo. Then there is the possibility that the Dodgers sign Juan Soto, the 26-year-old sensation who spent the 2024 season with the New York Yankees, and before that was on the Padres, and before that was on the Nationals. The kid who shuffles in the box, whose position is right field, who's looking for a contract of $500, $600, or $700 million. The Dodgers have been said to be speaking to Soto, but the New York teams, both the Yankees and the Mets, are rumored to be the heavy favorites for Soto's contract. Sources have told reporters at The Athletic that 4 other major league teams have expressed, quote, some level of interest and had conversations with Teo, whose price tag for a multi-year deal would be not insignificant, but nowhere near what Juan Soto is looking for.
We're looking at over 8 figures? Are we looking at that?
He's going to get a good deal. I know his age 32, but if you look at him, his body, he plays like he's younger.
That's real money. That's real money.
8 figures. 1, 2, at the comma, 2 commas, whatever. All of these numbers are obscene. Teo is not only a huge element of the heart and soul of this team, his bat did so much to bring home a world championship to Los Angeles in 2024.
Yeah, what can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you,
Show me the money, Jerry.
Show me the money.
This is kind of a weird time of year for baseball, when agents and owners step into the limelight for a moment, while the players nurse their postseason hangovers, rest up poolside in Cabo, or spend a precious few moments with their children. But us baseball documentarians, well, we're huddled up around the proverbial hot stove, with our eyes on the prize. Hot stove. We'll be sure to let you know what happens here with Roki Sasaki and, of course, Teo. That's it for this edition of Dodger Blue Dream. Thank you for listening. Dodger Blue Dream is written and produced by me, Richard Parks III. This episode was story edited by Caitlin Esch. Original music in this episode by William Ryan Fritch, Jonathan Snipes, The Blasting Company, and by me. Special thanks to Elizabeth Parks Kibbe and Jordan Bass. You know, the Los Angeles Dodgers have yet to not win a World Series title during the years that I've produced Dodger Blue Dream. Maybe it's time we start talking about my contract. That's why we set up a Patreon. Patreon.com/DodgerBlueDream. My initial goal is 50 contributions, and I need your help. Thanks again for listening.